What's going on? It's Ready Set Homestead, where the only fluff is the feathers. And today we're gonna be putting together this chicken coop run. Now, this chicken coop run, it's designed for chickens. It is a less expensive way. This was $170, including shipping on Amazon. I'll leave the link down in the description below if it's something you're interested in. And I'm actually gonna be using this for my dogs. If this is your first time here, you can see back in the corner over there, I got my turkey. I also have another coop for the chickens. So this is, again, a great thing to use for the chickens, but I'll be using it for my dogs, multi-purpose. Now, I did already open the box. The box comes in this little box right here. It's pretty heavy, so I do highly suggest for anybody who's gonna be homesteading for a while, get yourself a dolly, whether it's something on Facebook Marketplace, but get something that you can carry heavy stuff, because this was very, very heavy, because everything was packed into this little box right here. It does come with the chicken netting, which is not ideal for predator protection, but for my dogs, it's gonna be perfectly fine. And I went ahead and separated all the parts and pieces, so you can see right here, they are labeled. It's A through Z. There's a few letters that are missing, but they are all labeled. So I like to lay them out. That's the tarp that comes with it as well. And we're gonna use the instructions to put it together. Here we go. So I can't stress enough how important it is that you do look at the instructions. The instructions are not written with word, if that makes sense. It's going to be all pictures. So it's going to show you each part and what it should do. They snap in just like this. You can see how that one is labeled M, but you can see how the pieces all snap together, so you don't have to have any kind of extra tools. Now, the first page of the instructions shows you to put together the base. As I was putting together the base, despite the fact that I did measure this area, I realized that it wasn't going to fit in the spot that I wanted to. It would fit, but it would completely block off a certain area of my yard. I didn't want that to happen. So I went ahead and rotated around, moved it as I needed, had to pick up a few other things, move them out of the way. But once I got into the spot, then I realized we were good. So I've been moving all my concrete and just junk right there. So getting that out of the way, putting together the base, and it's pretty simple. Again, laying out this base, though, lets you see exactly where it's going to go. I'm not super concerned about it being on a level surface, because I'll just add things if I need. I did accidentally turn off the camera when I was adjusting it. You can see I put those vertical pieces up. It's simple. You're just putting vertical pieces up. But just follow the instructions, man. Really follow the instructions. This video is for you to show kind of the process, not actually give you a step-by-step instruction guide, because the instructions are very, very simple to use. You can see right here we have the walls up, and then we're putting little corner pieces on. There's two different kind of corner pieces, and they are labeled. So I believe one of them was Z and the other one was L. Z is going to be in the middle, L's on the outsides. One thing I did notice when I was putting this together is whenever you have the longer stretches of poles, instead of putting the entire pole together and then trying to connect it to the corners or edges, go ahead and do step by step. So from a corner, place a pole, then place another pole. Don't place the two poles together and then stick it in the corner, if that makes any sense. I just felt like with the leverage, it was a little bit easier to do it this way than it was doing it with a long pole. And you can see I'm doing this all myself. It's not super heavy. Right here, I did realize with the door itself that the door was going to open in a direction I didn't want it to open. So I just switched it around. You can always kind of move things in different directions. This is something that's kind of cool too, because technically if you were to buy a second structure like this, you could extend it. You can use all the same pieces. This is for the door. It does want you to put the door together first. I felt like putting the door together first. It made sense because you got to put it up, but it was a little bit difficult to pick it up. And you'll see what I'm talking about right here, but just putting that door together. As far as how the hinge works, the hinge is just that little nub on the bottom right. You can see it kind of sticks out. That's just going to fit into another pipe. So it's not a super crazy or advanced door. Putting it on, it was kind of hard to hold it by myself. So I went ahead and put the frame up, and then I just didn't lock one piece in, put the door in, and then lock the piece after that. But you can see this is the basic setup of the outside. There is a bag that has 3 bolts and 3 nuts in it. That's going to be for the top piece that I'm doing right here that holds the frame on the frame of the door to the frame of the actual coop itself. And it does provide you with an Allen wrench and a little crescent wrench itself. They're not the greatest. If you have a crescent wrench, I recommend using it yourself. Of course, the Allen fit. And that right here in my hand, that's the lock mechanism. So it's pretty simple. You set it on, and it has a bolt that goes through it. So for the lock, of course, you got to remember that it is a moving piece, so you can't tighten that bolt all the way. You do have to lose it a little bit loose so that it can move. It did come, the whole kit came with these gloves. I thought the gloves were a great idea, especially when it came time for the chicken wire itself. I've dealt with chicken wire in the past, and that metal can cut you. This chicken wire is pretty soft, though. So I realized after about 30 seconds, I didn't need the gloves, so I went ahead and took them off. There's my son there, my little helper, helping me hold the chicken wire, because that's always a pain, is holding that chicken wire, that big, heavy roll. Of course, now he's asking me if he can be done yet. If you watch any of my videos, you know my kids don't have to help. I always give it an option for them to help out when we're doing chores and projects. But if they say they want to help, they got to stay until it's done. So he said he wanted to help. I made sure he knew, and it's time for him to help. So thank goodness my wife came in. So that's my ride or die right there. But she's helping out, putting the zip ties on. One of the hardest things with chicken wire or anything that you use like that is making sure that it's pulled tight when you're tightening it onto the frame. So I was able to hold it, pull it tight, and then put the zip ties on. And we didn't go crazy with the zip ties in the beginning. You put one on one side, one on the other, just something to hold it, because you can always come back later and fix it after the fact. Originally, I was going to show you this whole thing, but of course, we had a camera malfunction. So of course, my phone just decided to stop in the middle of recording. We went ahead and got the tarp on. Tarp is pretty easy. These pieces just loop through, and you take this ball and hold it. So we'll do this piece up here later. We'll do this piece over here later, but for now, you can see what y'all think. This way you can come out here and play for a little while, not have to have us being bugged nonstop. So again, we'll cover this area right here. As far as easiness, this is very, very easy to build. It doesn't require a whole lot of skill. Putting on this chicken netting is a pain. So that's the longest part, is putting on that chicken netting. And as far as predator protection, if you're putting chickens or something in here, this is not going to stop a raccoon. It's not going to stop a fox. You do have the area below. So I definitely recommend doing a couple feet, if not the entire thing, in hardware cloth to make sure that it's really solid so that a predator can't get inside there. But for this purpose, keeping some puppies in there, we're going to get some water. It is perfect.
I don't mean perfect for the dogs, but perfect for the birds.
Oh, it's perfect for the birds too?
Yeah.
So we're going to get some water in there, get some food.
And guess what, Dad?
And this is a prefab chicken coop. $170 on Amazon. It's a great something you can use if you don't have a ton of money, because prefab chicken coops are, I mean, you're talking, $400 to $3,000. So definitely recommend this. I will leave it in the description below. Of course, you can always build this and just do it with hardware cloth as well. You can do it with chain link. You can attach whatever you want to this. It does come with the chicken netting though. So enjoy Homestead.
Guess what, Dad?
What's up?